All right. Awesome. Looks good. All right. So next up, we're going to be using the clapping hands emoji. So if this is your returning viewer and you've been to a couple of our other CT talks, please throw up the clapping hands. We want to see the support for returning viewers. Great. There we go. All right. And third, we want to use the heart emoji for all of our Caltrans colleagues that enjoy supporting us and returning to these CT talks. Please throw up the heart for your support for your colleagues. Awesome. All right. So next, in case you're not here if you're not going to be able to join us for a very long time, no worries. We're going to be sending out a follow-up email that's going to have the recorded link, so you can keep an eye out for that. We want to say thanks everybody for again joining us and just learning more about who Caltrans is, who we are, the professionals on our teams. And just a quick reminder that to encourage you all to use the chat to put your questions into, and Harriet and I will be pausing throughout this webinar to pass those along to our panelists. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Harriet for an introduction.
Good morning or good afternoon, everybody. We're excited to get started with episode 13, Digging the Scene, Big Dreams, Bigger Machines. We've had a few glitches here today, some really positive and some very last minute, so we apologize for that. We're going to do our best to make sure that our wonderful panelist, Shannon Horn, is still able to share her insights with you all. But just to give you an overview of CT Talks, it looks like there was a few of you that are first timers, so welcome. But what are we going to cover here today? We're going to bring you some insights from our panelists, and you will have your chance your burning questions. So who do we have with us today? We have, we do have Marjani and we do have Shannon. Unfortunately, we have experienced some technical difficulties with WebEx, but Shannon is here in the chat. So we are going to be still answering the questions that you have. And Shannon, you're just going to have your fingers at the ready to type out your responses, and we will read those out so everyone is able to hear from the wonderful Shannon on her experience. Raphael as well is unable to be here. Actually, it's a good and a bad because he got a new position. So Laura mentioned those emojis. Let's all throw up some celebration emojis. This guy just got a phenomenal position, which you'll hear a little bit about in a little while. He's going to share a bit about his journey to this position. But let's throw up some love for Raphael, because I know he said he's going to be watching the recording. He's going to be sharing with his family and friends. So big props to him. He just got a fantastic new position. And so we commend him for that, and we actually did get to chat with him yesterday to get some insight. So we do have some video, so you'll still hear from Raphael as well. So this is a totally new one for us, but we're excited for it because we're all rolling with it, and you know, that's what life's about. Things happen, but we're still going to get this wonderful information out. You're still going to hear from three wonderful individuals. So Marjani is here with us right now. So Marjani, do you want to say hi to everyone?
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us this afternoon. I'm still stuck in the morning, so, you know, it just hit 12 o'clock. So, you know.
Yeah, it's that weird time where it's not quite morning, it's not quite afternoon. Yeah. Thank you, Marjani. We're so excited to have you here. So we do have a few short biographies to read out. So I'm going to kick it over to Laura to start us off with Raphael's.
All right. So it's my pleasure to introduce Rafael Gomez Calles, who was born in Venezuela. After completing high school, he aspired to study oceanography and join the Navy. However, due to financial constraints and the distant location of the university offering this program, he pursued a degree in industrial engineering at a local university. Following his graduation, he began his career at Petróleos de Venezuela, which is the national oil company, where he held various positions over 10 years. During this time, he also had the opportunity to travel to Chile and Panama to participate in industrial engineering congresses. In 2003, he met his life partner while studying engineering at the University. Political asylum unrest in Venezuela prompted him to seek asylum in the United States to protect his family from direct threats and persecution. Upon arriving at the United States, he assisted with construction work and later pursued opportunities in residential remodeling and minor repairs. After obtaining his work permit, he transitioned to working for companies and eventually secured a permanent position as a wastewater treatment operator with Sacramento County. And that's the position we were just celebrating with him. Throughout his journey, he's faced numerous challenges. He has remained resilient and focused on pursuing his aspirations. He has been inspired and supported by his wife of 20 years and their 2 children. He believes that with passion, patience, and unwavering determination, one can overcome any obstacle. Thanks for being here with us by video. Raphael, we're so excited for you.
All right, and I'm going to introduce Marjani Rowlands. So Marjani has 19 years of dedicated state service, beginning her career as an office technician with the Department of Corrections before spending the last 18 years at Caltrans. Her journey at Caltrans has been marked by diverse roles in the Division of Engineering Services, where she progressed from HR liaison to statewide contract coordinator, contract manager, and project analyst. Through hard work and determination, Marjani became the data analysis and supportive services branch chief at the Office of Civil Rights, a role she excelled in for 3 years. Her success led to a promotion to the Small Business and Workforce Development Office Chief, where she has made significant impact. Marjani spearheaded implementing a statewide Disadvantaged Business Enterprise and Supportive Services, DBESS program, and for the first time established an internal Caltrans DBESS branch dedicated to delivering these programs. Under her leadership, Caltrans has expanded the US DOT National Summer Transportation Institute from 0 to 6 sites. And she's launched the pilot Heavy Equipment Operator and Construction Trades Academy that we're going to be discussing today, which is also now expanding statewide. Marjani's ability to build strong partnerships continues to drive the growth and success of Caltrans supportive services and workforce development programs. Thank you so much, Marjani, for being here. We are so excited to learn more about the program.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
All right, and so our third panelist today, we're so excited to have Shannon Horn here with us. Shannon is an exceptional single mother of 3 who successfully transitioned from a flourishing career in the licensed cosmetology and beauty industry to becoming a certified heavy equipment operator on a farm. With adept skills in handling a diverse array of heavy machinery, such as excavators, backhoes, dozers, loaders, skid steers, mini excavators, and mowers, she brings an unparalleled level of hands-on expertise to her career. Residing on a ranch, Shannon wholeheartedly embraces her passion for the outdoors, finding solace and joy in the activities such as hiking, traveling, camping, and spending cherished moments with her family and friends amidst the beauty of nature. Her love for creating delightful culinary experiences and hosting heartwarming gatherings showcase her warmth and hospitable nature, leaving a lasting impression wherever she goes. Shannon's journey embodies resilience, adaptability, and a commitment to creating a fulfilling life. Her dedication and diverse skill set reflect her unwavering determination and the ability to thrive in various situations. Thank you so much, Shannon, for being here with us today.
All right. We are so thrilled to get started with this today. Before we get started, Marjani, no big deal, was interviewed on the news. So we're going to share that clip before we get started with the questions.
Employers what they've learned and their skills and possibly land jobs. So, and this equipment operator program is a high skilled quality program, you know. So our goal is to make sure that we train our participants so that they can have opportunities. It's about creating opportunities to our underserved communities in California. So we target women, veterans, disabled individuals, disadvantaged and underserved people in our community. We want to give them the opportunity to create a really good life for themselves, you know, whether it's to work for another contractor or to own their own business. We've had participants and students in our past program open their own business after going through this training. So I'm excited. I'm excited that we are having this second academy. We got 20 students, you know, and this is just one of Caltrans's programs and our commitment to our disadvantaged individuals. You know, we just recently had our DBE Summit, which is a networking opportunity for small businesses and entrepreneurs that are minority-owned, women-owned focused. We give them the networking opportunity where they can have access to resources and, you know, just help build up their business. So we're about building up businesses and the individuals so that they can have a good quality of life.
All right, and if you're interested in watching the full video, we can share that with you all as well. But really wonderful to kick us off that you were featured on Good Day Sacramento, Marjani. But give us your spiel. Tell us about this program that everyone is so eager to hear more about. Yeah, fill us in.
So the Heavy Equipment Operator Academy, and we've called it the Heavy Highway Construction Trades Academy, is a federally funded program, and it's funded through the On-the-Job Training Supportive Services Program. And you guys will hear me call it OJT throughout this conversation. And so the OJT Supportive Services, what that does is it supports the overall program of the OJT program. And that's a federally regulated program which requires state transportation agencies to establish apprenticeship and training programs that are targeted towards moving women and minorities and disadvantaged people into journey level positions. So when I came to civil rights, that would be back in 2020, that was right after COVID hit, there hadn't been a lot of programs in a few years, not a lot, there hadn't been any programs, in a few years. And so my team, when I was hired, we were tasked with re-implementing the program, which is designed to run annually. And under the leadership of my old bosses who are no longer here, they've moved on to bigger things and still helping the community, Michelle Lopez Hardy, as well as Keith Herron. We worked closely with the Federal Highway, our program administrator, Michael Caliendo, to pilot the Heavy Equipment Operator Academy. So what happened is Mr. Caliendo, he's experienced this academy before. He's seen it be very successful in other states. And he said, you know what, you guys need to do this program. California needs this program. It's going to be great. He goes, just believe me, trust me, it's going to be great. So we actually had about 4 to 5 months to execute this contract. And anybody who works in government knows that that is so hard to do. That is so hard to do. But with our partnerships from Baker Technical Institute, which is our training provider, even our internal partnerships, I would say Division of Procurement and Contracts, they played a huge part. Hilda Watterson and her team, they made sure that this contract got executed. And I would say that it was probably 2 days before the first session started. So we really had to work together. Like I said, Baker Technical Institute, Highlands Community Charter School, amongst other Black Chamber of Commerce, the California Black Chamber of Commerce, our Local 3 Operating Engineers Union. We all just really came together. District 3 Maintenance, Steve Hardy, they played a huge role in helping us develop field trips and, get some hands-on experience of what work looks like and visiting our maintenance yards. So that was, we put a lot of effort in such a short amount of time. And so we couldn't have done that without our partners. Now, one of the partners that I do want to mention, which was the icing on the cake for me, was working with Chairman Tarango at the Wilton Rancheria Tribe. On our second heavy equipment operator session here in Sacramento, we were able to do our contractor day and our lab work where the students are out in the field and they're on the equipment and they're showing, they're practicing their skills that they learned during the in-classroom simulator portion, right? And so basically when we were on their land, they provided cultural sensitivity training. We learned about their culture. We learned about what to do if we were to come across some of their ancestors, as we're digging on their land, to respect them and their land and their tradition. 2 of their members did get into our program. So it was really a rewarding experience. I was happy to be a part of it, to implement this program. And just build from there. It really took a lot of teamwork to get it going. And I'm happy that we had 2 successful equipment operator academies with 100% graduation, which is really hard to attain. People like Shannon, people like Raphael, they were dedicated. They showed up every day. We did what we could to help them because we provide supportive services as well, to make sure that people complete the program because it offers a lot of opportunities. So I'll be quiet at that. I said a lot.
No, don't be quiet. Don't be quiet. That was wonderful. So, so you said there's 100% success rate, completion rate. That's incredible. Can you tell us some of the numbers? Do you have, how many applied, how many got in, how many graduates do we have?
So it was a very competitive process. So overall, between the 2 sessions, we got close to 500 applications, and we had to narrow it down to 40 between the 2 sessions. And we Yeah, it was a very difficult thing to do. But the application process is basic. You know, we're not trying to make things hard for people to get in. We want you to be able to tell your story and your background without judgment, right? So we got close to 500 applicants. We picked 20 for each session. We did have some backups just in case people were not able to show up and be in the program. And there were all 40 graduated. And I won't say that that wasn't easy. You know, it took a lot of effort from everybody. The people at BTI, they care so much about the program and the people that they're helping. Caltrans employees and the staff that we've worked with all across the divisions, you know, we've all made a collective and a collaborative effort to make sure that the program ran smoothly. And they also participated in selecting the candidates. So when I say we narrowed them down, I think it was about down to 80, and then we got down to our 40 with our 10 backups, you know, just in case someone wasn't able to show up, because we didn't want to waste those resources. We have 20 slots. A program like this on the street can cost about $40,000, you know, so this was offered free of charge to everybody who participated.
Wow, and this selection process, how are people selected? Like, what does that process look like?
So we have scoring criteria. And we have a task force. We have a selection committee from all different areas, whether it's from maintenance. We had people from civil rights. We had people from Baker Technical Institute and Highlands Charter School on that committee. And we scored the applications and we selected from there.
Wow. So it just sounds like such a huge collaborative effort, so
Yes.
successful, obviously so popular given the number of applicants you got. So congratulations to you. What a huge, huge accomplishment. And as we've heard from Shannon and Raphael, just completely life-changing. So
Yes.
wow, incredible to hear the background on the story. Thank you for sharing, Marjani.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
I'm going to kick it to Laura. I know we have our questions for our graduates, and we were wondering, Marjani, maybe you could give Shannon a phone call so we could actually hear her voice and she can answer the questions live, because she is here. She is in the audience. We just had issues getting her on the panel. So
I can do that. You want
a bit
to
more.
give her on a call? I can do that.
Sorry?
I can give her a call. You want me to go ahead and do that?
Yeah. If you could do that, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
We can start with a video from Raphael just to give her a minute to compose her thoughts. But Laura, if you want to ask the question, and Shannon can be thinking on her response, and we'll share the video of Raphael that he shared with us.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're just wanting to know like about your experience, what it was like, what drew you to this program, and what a day in academy looks like. And so while Marjani's getting Shannon on the call, then Harriet's going to play a video with Raphael.
The story is pretty, big, but yes, I remember when at that time, I quit from a job that it was so difficult to keep doing that job. My back was killing me. I used to spend 2-3 weeks out of my house. I was working a lot. I not complain about the job. I was like, I cannot do this anymore because in 5 years, I'm not going to be able to do this. I quit and I was like, okay, I'm going to look for another job. I know how to do so many things. And when I started looking for a new job, that was before COVID, because in the previous job that I was doing during COVID, I think during COVID was what I worked the most, because I used to work for elderly people installing chairs, these power chairs that goes through the stairs, and people inside their house, they had more chance to, I want to do this, I want to do that, and for the reason I work a lot. I thought that it was going to be the same. When I quit and I started looking for a new job, I was like, hey, this is not working that as I thought. And I started looking for a job. In 6 months, I was like, hey, my money is going down, nothing is going in. This is not working. And at some point, because, I cannot tell my kids, hey, kids, don't eat, don't ask anything because I'm not making money. That doesn't work like that. And I was like, okay, what I'm going to do? And my wife, she was attending English classes at Highland, I remember one day when in one of these desperation days, it was like, hey, but relax, calm down. I saw these pamphlets. She showed me the brochure. Look at this, heavy equipment operator training. It was like, because I always used to say, I would like to drive one of those machines, the big ones. When I saw them, when I used to see them on the freeway, it was like, that should be pretty cool, pretty cool driving one of those, because, always you see those guys with the sunglasses and the hats driving all those equipment, like, oh my God, those guys look so strong. I was like, it should be good. And she told me, you know what you told me the last time? Look at this. It's a heavy equipment operator through Highland and Caltrans. It's free. What do you think? It was like, and when I started reading, it was like, yeah, but it's a full-time training. They have to be there from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. What I'm going to do is a whole month, 5 weeks. It's too much. And she told me, come on, you haven't worked for 6 months, and now you are complaining about just 1 month where you are going to learn something new. It's like, yeah, that's a good point, bad. Always is a bad. And she was like, come on, go ahead, give it a try. It was like, okay, I'm going to do it because Highlands is close to my house. Okay, I'm gonna try. And I did my application. They called me, like a little interview through phone. And like 2 days later, they called me, hey, you were elected. And it was like, okay, but I didn't have any expectation. I was like, okay, let's go there to see what I'm going to do there. All right? Just the first day, only 1 day, took me to work like, oh my God, what I am. This is so cool.
So there's a little bit from Rafael. As you can see, super energetic and very passionate about the program and what it's provided for him. So sorely missed, Rafael. Your energy was going to be fantastic here, but we are so happy for you and your success. So I'm so glad we were able to share his insights there. But Laura, I'll let you continue with Shannon. It sounds like we were able to get her on with her audio.
Yes. Let me go ahead and unmute her. All right, she's here.
Hey everyone. Hi Laura. Hi Harry.
Hi, Shannon.
Hi,
We're excited
Shannon.
to hear from you and just hear about your experience and what the day looked like when you're in the academy.
My experience has been life-changing. Just to piggyback off what Rafael was saying, the confidence that it took, the resilience that it took for everyone to enter the program, I never would have imagined being certified to be an actual equipment operator, let alone heavy equipment. So the Caltrans team, Marjani, everyone there has been influential in helping to change my life, including Highlands Community Charter School. I absolutely adore everyone there at Baker Technical Institute. It was so incredible. And don't get me wrong, it was a lot of hard work. You cannot be late, of course, at any place, but especially there because it's constant learning. I mean, there wasn't a moment that went by where we didn't have to lock in, take notes, and understand exactly what was being taught to us because that stuff it's powerful machinery. But
Yeah, Shannon, can you tell us what drew you to this kind of training, your interest in the skilled trades?
Oh, absolutely. As a little girl, I was always interested in getting in cars and breaking them apart, putting them back together. And I have a bunch of brothers, so I'm sure that played a role too in wanting to get up there and do the things that I saw my uncle do. He was an equipment operator. But again, I never thought that I would even be able to have an opportunity like this. I went to Highlands as a high school graduate. So just looking to see what they had available that I could get into and find a trade that would be able to have some stability for my children and I grew up as, a troubled teen, so I didn't graduate when I should have, but I was able to find Highlands and they offered so much support, so many different trades, and just out of pure curiosity, I was able to apply and go on the interviews and was chosen, and it just created a whole new love for me for the construction industry, especially heavy equipment.
Well, we are so proud of you and Raphael, Shannon. You guys are both such an inspiration, just hearing your stories, and just being willing to be vulnerable and share your background and where you've come from and where you're at today and all the obstacles that you both overcome is just really inspiring to everybody and people here, I'm sure, in the audience as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.
All right, our next question is from Marjani. And it's interesting because you see the big heavy equipment. I think Raphael touched on that. You know, I want to be like those guys with the sunglasses and they're strong. And you don't necessarily always imagine women being a part of this role. But, you know, this is obviously open for everyone and you're looking for all different types of people. So can you tell us more about kind of the target populations and what this program aims to achieve, and kind of how does someone find out about these opportunities? What are we doing in terms of outreach to share the message of this opportunity?
Sure. So again, the on-the-job training supportive services program, which funds our Equipment Operator Academy, is a federally funded program, and it's designed to target underserved people and individuals, including formerly incarcerated women, minorities, veterans, minority and women-owned businesses, anyone who's been at a disadvantage and wants the opportunity to upskill themselves and potentially build generational wealth and become business owners. I don't know if you caught earlier, I was mentioning how, you know, people come through our program and then they eventually become business owners. And that ties into another program that is under my umbrella, which is the DBE Supportive Services Program. And that's for minority and women-owned businesses. So you can go learn a trade, skill yourself in that trade, and start a business, and also receive support and assistance through our DBE Supportive Services. And that's something that, you know, a lot of people, you know, they don't want to work for someone for the rest of their lives. They want to have their own business, they're entrepreneurs and things of that sort. So those are other services that we provide to help them get those opportunities and know that there's no limit to however high you want to go. You don't have to start as an equipment operator and stay an equipment operator. You know, you can go far beyond that. You can be that business owner. You can contract with Caltrans and other state agencies based off of whatever your business provides, you know. So that's ultimately the goal, because that builds and creates generational wealth. And there's a lot of money in the construction trades and in transportation, you know. So, and the way to find out about it, we did a lot of outreach through Highlands Community Charter with the California Black Chamber of Commerce. We posted on social media. It's on LinkedIn, Facebook, anywhere you can think of, we posted, you know, to garner those applications. We even went to, I believe it was Sacramento Works, and posted some flyers, you know, to garner interest in the programs. And my team and I, we shared it on our own personal social media accounts because we wanted to let as many people as we know about these programs. Because if I'm being honest, you know, you mentioned earlier in my bio, I've been here 19 years as a Caltrans employee. And in those 19 years, I know these programs existed, but I did not know about them when I was a part of the other divisions, you know. And so that speaks volumes. If the people who work for Caltrans don't know about these programs, how do we expect the community to know about the programs?
Right.
So my goal is to spread awareness. You know, I can go to the gym and I see people there that are, you know, I own a trucking business. Are you DBE certified? You know, I instantly go into that mode because most people don't know about it. And I'm starting to hear more traction and more knowledge about the DBE Supportive Services Program and our on-the-job training supportive services program. And let's not even forget about it's called NISTI. That's a short for National Summer Transportation Institute, where we target our youth, you know, because it starts with our youth. We introduce them to the transportation careers, you know, because a lot of them, just like our participants, Javier, who was it? I can't remember who it was. I think it was someone else, I'm sorry, who mentioned that they didn't have a background in construction. A lot of our participants didn't. Most of them did not. And so even with the National Summer Transportation Institute program, a lot of the kids have no idea about transportation careers. They don't understand or have the knowledge that there's so many layers to transportation. It's not just driving a car or a ship or an airplane. You know, in California, we're real climate forward, being conscious of our environment. So environmental plays a huge part in the role for transportation when we're building them, you know, and also taking into consideration of the people in the community and who we're affecting. So as we build these programs, we need to make sure that we keep those considerations, that we target the youth, because that's, again, where it begins. And I can tell you that there were quite a few students in our NIST program who said, my parents made me come here, and I'm glad they did, because I had no idea about this and I didn't think I would like it, you know? So it's just about opening your eyes, taking the opportunity as it comes to you. You may not have an interest in this, but you don't know if you'll like it until you try it. So, you know, my advice to anyone is go ahead and put your application in, even if you're unsure, because you don't have to say yes. You don't have to say yes. We do want people who are committed, but putting your application in is the first step, you know, to opening more doors and opportunities. If you don't apply, then you don't know what you could potentially do with your life.
That's
Well
incredible.
said.
Yeah, yeah, really
Well
incredible.
said.
It's incredible. It's remarkable, the outreach, the collaboration on this piece, yeah, it really, you're saying these kids come in like, oh, my parents made me be here,
Yes, they
and it's
did.
like,
Literally
yeah,
said that.
no idea, like,
They're thanking their parents now, right?
no
Yes,
kidding,
they are.
no
And they had a
kidding.
lot of fun. Just like with the Equipment Operator Academy and our NIST programs, we do field trips. They do field trips, and they get to see all different types of transportation and, you know, what goes into that. Because we have a most people have a basic understanding of transportation and all the
Yeah.
different, you know, components that go into it. And so we want to introduce them to that, because there's a workforce shortage in all trades, not just construction, everywhere. And so we need to make sure that we have a skilled workforce. And one of the things, you know, that I did mention earlier, which was a huge accomplishment as well, aside from that 100% graduation rate, we had a goal of 30% women participation. We got 30% women for both sessions,
Wow.
you know, because anybody who's familiar with construction trades,
Mhm.
based on some analyses that I've done, it's probably less than a 2% of
Mm.
women in that trade. So we're
That's
trying to increase that
outstanding.
as well.
Outstanding, absolutely. And it's something you touched on is it's just exposing people to, and youth to the heavy equipment. Like you just said, if people don't know what they haven't seen or haven't heard of. And so when you expose them to that, now they have this new opportunity, they have new knowledge, you know, and they can
Absolutely.
take action and do something with that. So powerful.
Absolutely. And it was really great to be a part of this. You know, the whole team, everybody who was involved, and even the students, you know, you build relationships with other people that you may not think will matter right now, but later on down the road, if you stay in this industry or you're a business owner, or even if you're in construction, you're going to come across those people again. And there's going to be someone that you met years ago that might give you a hand and help you get to the next level. So I would say networking and partnerships are huge when it comes to developing yourself or even developing programs like these.
Absolutely. Yeah.
We have a comment that I received and a message just, you know, reaffirming to Shannon and Raphael that as graduates, your stories are so inspirational to see the perseverance and hard work has paid off. And that we also had, let's see, there was a question here for the acronym of DBE. So I put that in the chat. DBE stands for Disadvantaged Business Enterprise, correct, Marjani?
That is correct. And that's minority and women-owned firms.
Okay.
So, and Marjani, you mentioned reaching out or chatting with businesses and saying, hey, are you DBE certified? What advantage does that give them to be DBE certified?
So on all of Caltrans projects that have a federal dollar in it, they're federalized. And with that comes a DBE goal. And our goal is, I believe it's 22.2% now, to where 22.2% of our contracts, and I might be wrong on that 0.2, is allocated or awarded to disadvantaged business enterprises. That's our goal. And we met that goal last year. And if I might add another accomplishment for Caltrans and some prizes, you know, we awarded for the first time $1 billion to DBE firms. $1 billion. That is a big number. You know, Caltrans receives a lot of money every year. And so we've been on the forefront of making sure that we, you know, give small businesses, DBBEs, which stands for Disadvantaged Veteran Business Enterprises, the opportunity and making sure they have equitable access to these opportunities, and that we are spreading the wealth amongst everyone and not just the same companies and same individuals. We want new people to come in as well, because when those old firms leave, or, the old individuals leave, who's going to take their place and help build the infrastructure here in California?
Yeah. I mean, talk about networking and who you need to know. Marjani is who you need to know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Marjani will hook you up.
I'll try my best. I'll give all the resources that we have, to do what we can. And I have an amazing team, both on my small business development side and the workforce development side of the house here at Civil Rights. Amazing team, and they all care. And we're doing our best to make sure that we execute these programs. We do our outreach. We let as many people know as possible and go above and beyond. Even some of the individuals in the program, we did mock interviews with them. Part of the curriculum, they do career readiness, right? But when they're done, what's next, right? You have to have a lot of perseverance, persistence, and, that is probably the hardest part after graduation, trying to find that job. And so my team and I made ourselves available to anybody who wanted to contact us and say, hey, I need help. I need some advice. And what should I do? Or what do you think? Or can I get a mock interview? And I can say that everyone who requested a mock interview ended up landing their jobs.
That's fantastic.
And we had a 65% placement within 6 months of graduating the program.
Wow.
Yeah. And these are our first programs, so I'm so excited. These numbers, it only goes up from here. We built that foundation. We started off strong, and we have a lot of partnerships that are developing because of this. And it's just going to be amazing. And I'm excited for what's to come and to be a part of it.
It's amazing to hear about this program, and yeah, just so much. And the fact that you're not only setting them up with the right skills, but setting them up for success as they move forward.
Yes.
65% placement. That is incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
And it's hard to attain, we sometimes, I know Shannon, they were like, you guys are bugging us because we wouldn't let up. We send employment opportunities because we had employers reach out to us asking, say, hey, I need people with those skill sets. And, we would connect them with the employers or host job fairs or send them to job fairs, construction trade job fairs, and helping them navigate that process.
It just speaks to the marketing that we've been doing all along for this webinar, is that this program is changing lives, and everything you just said and everything you keep talking about just really backs that up. And that's the purpose of everything. That's the outcome, is changing lives. So
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So Laura, let's tap Shannon for our next question. Hear about how this has impacted her life, right?
yeah, Shannon. So if you're still there on the line, we want to hear more about the career support that you received from the program, and tell us more about that, what that looks like, and how this program has impacted your life.
So the career support that I've received has been consistently ongoing with Caltrans. And I mean, in every possible way you could think of. Like Marjani said, there's definitely been times where it's like, oh, these emails don't stop something. Let me tell you, it was needed and appreciated, because it does get discouraging sometimes, because it does get hard after you graduate and getting out there and looking for employment. But they've been nothing but consistent and selfless and helpful every step of the way. I didn't even know how to fill out an application with the state, so it hasn't just been even with heavy equipment. It has just been in life, being able to get that support, that pick me up, that encouragement that is needed. And it's been amazing. Yeah, it's constant.
Yeah. Yeah, we bug them. Yes, absolutely. We want to get you to work. We want to help as much as possible. And, anybody who's open to it and receptive to it, we're there.
Awesome. I have
So important. It's like, you're getting them the skills, you're getting them the knowledge, but you got to be there, like you said, every step of the way to help them through that process, right? Because all the knowledge and the skills are not always going to be able to land that position for them if they don't have that career support services. So that's a really strong point of the program as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And we even have, with the support services, we pay for transportation, housing, we could pay for childcare. There's all sorts of things that we can support our participants with, food, all of that, while they're in the programs. And we did, in one of our sessions, had one individual who was unhoused. And, I dropped tears because I found out that we were able to house him for the entirety of the program, we paid for it. We paid for his hotel. And, if they need equipment or work clothes or things like that, we help.
Yeah, that's phenomenal. I mean, where else can you find something like that, It's like a one-stop shop, really.
Yeah.
I've got our video from Raphael as well I can share, talking about his career support that he received. So I'll share that now so we make sure he's included in there too. Here we go.
Now, I started last week as a wastewater treatment plant operator at Sac Sewer plant in Sacramento. I was looking for this job like a year ago because once I graduated from the heavy equipment operator training, I started looking for jobs related to this. Because in the past, I used to work as a mechanic, as a construction worker, and now with this trade that I learned, I was like, okay, I have more skills. I'm going to try to look for a better job. And I started applying. I applied like 100 jobs. I think more. And in some point, I was like desperate. I was like, oh my God, this is not working, what I'm going to do. And in some point from the plant, they called me, hey, Rafael, we have here a position as a maintenance worker. It's the lowest position in the plant. And I remember I called Stephen because I didn't know what to do. It was like, oh my God, but I know all of these things. I don't know what to do. And I remember he told me, Rafael, take it because it's the first step that you can take inside the county. And from there, you can go up. But the first things that you have to do is put your first step inside the county. It was like, it doesn't matter if the salary is low, you are going to meet new people, you are going to learn new things. Try it, trust me. It was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And I started working with them. And, when they asked me at the interview, okay, I'm reading here that you have a heavy equipment operator certification. Yes. What is your experience? Well, I know how to drive this, and this equipment. Okay, how long have you been driving those? Guys that apply for that position, they were going to hire only 15 guys. And when they called me, Rafael, you were selected for the exam. And I was like, oh, cool. I went for the first step. And after the exam, I know that the state and county work or jobs, the hiring process, takes a long time. And it was like 2 months. And in that time, it was like, no, I wasn't selected. I didn't make it. And after 2 months, the supervisor called me, Rafael, you were selected for an interview. It was like, oh, cool, I passed the exam. Yes, you were in the first 10 guys that passed the exam. Oh, for 400, I was like impressed. And in the interviews was the same. I mean, the same questions, what have you done, and what's your experience, what you expect working here. And okay, after that, 2 months later, in the meantime, it was like, okay, I wasn't selected. It was the same. Now I didn't make it. They called me, Rafael, you were selected. And now we're going to start the hiring process. You are going to be in a background investigation. We're going to check your reference and all of this. And 2 months later, the same, it was like, maybe something is happening with my background, or maybe one of my reference, they said something about, I didn't know anything because I was blind. And a month ago, they told me, Rafael, everything is done. Your start date is going to be last week. And when they told me that, I was like, oh my God, I didn't know who to thank about this, because it was so many people that was with me, supporting me especially my family, my wife, my kids. Stephen through Caltrans, because every of these steps I was calling him. Hey, Stephen, is happening this, what do you think? I don't know. He was like my advisor. Rafael, wait, I know how this works. This is going to work fine. Just, be patient. Okay, because I want the job. I need the money, of course, and I'm not sure if I have to look for another job. And when all this happened, I called him, hey, you know what? I get it. And, thanks to you, thanks all the team, thanks Baker as a company that they gave us the training, because thanks of them, I learned a lot of things. It wasn't only the training with the heavy equipment. They taught us how to do an interview, how to respond some interview questions, how to properly talk to them, and, even the way that you have to speak, everything. And thanks on all of these, things that I learned, I can say that I'm now a wastewater treatment plant operator, and I'm so excited, I'm so happy, and I know that this is just one step, because I know that in the future, as I told in my interview, when they asked me, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I was like, I'm gonna be, if you're gonna be retired, guys, I'm gonna be in your position. And they start laughing, because they were like, okay, that's the attitude. That's the people that we want here. We don't want people that they stay in the same position the whole time. We want people that they want to grow up. And I was like, I'm that guy. And this in the first 5 years, because later, if I stay here longer, I'm going to be the director in some point. I don't know, but that's my goal. When I tell my wife this, she always like, hey, you always, your target is pretty high. I was like, I remember when I was a kid, I used to say, I'm going to speak English. It was one of my goals, because in my country, we didn't speak English. And now, look at this, I can have a conversation in English with you guys. I know that now, from now, I'm going to be, in some point, I know that in maybe 5-10 years, I'm going to be leading some teams. I'm going to be doing something bigger for the city, for the state. I don't know, but I know that I'm going to be, in a higher position in some point, because that's my goal. I mean, I don't want to be, I'm not showing off. It's just like me. I mean, I like to teach people. I like to show people, hey guys, if I do it, you can do it. I mean, don't let anybody tell you that you cannot do it.
I love this. I have one word for like Shannon and Raphael. I'm sure all the other graduates is tenacity.
Yes.
They all have the tenacity, and that's what the program has done for them. And it's so rewarding to watch them just be so confident and know that they're going to be successful.
Yeah. It's a great feeling. I was cheesing the whole time watching.
No.
So proud of him and Shannon and everyone else that's gone through the programs,
It really is such an accomplishment. And evidently, like you said, building confidence, building skill sets, making you that much more employable. And don't set your sights short. You've got everyone behind you to support you. And it's just wonderful to see. Getting some messages in the chat here for Shannon and Raphael. You both are an inspiration. We're so proud that Caltrans does programs like this to support people like you and see you succeed. So really nice. Shannon, you should be really, really proud of yourself. Raphael as well, when he sees this, just really, really so much support and so much pride. Really wonderful.
And Raphael, I have to give a shout out to one of my team members. He mentioned Stephen Oliva, who's our branch chief over the workforce development branch. And that's who was his sounding board. That was his advisor that he mentioned. And, because people get discouraged when applying for state jobs or local, county jobs. It takes a while for government jobs, right? And so people think, oh, I didn't get selected. Oh, no, this isn't working. And they start feeding their minds that negativity when really you just need to be patient, because what is going to come to you and what is for you will come to you and you will have it. You will attain that. And so I'm glad Stephen was able to be there for Raphael during that time, because he was concerned, as most people would be.
Yeah, definitely to have that support, that career guidance is so important. You can do it. You've done the program. You've graduated. Now what? And they're not left on their own. And that's wonderful. Even seeing Marjani and Shannon, the way you two both interact when we've been meeting with you, it's like, oh, you can really tell there's a friendship that's been flourished here, and it's just really wonderful to see that support. So it's really just a wonderful thing. I know we're running up close to time, but we did get started a little bit late. So we can probably take a couple more questions, you think, Laura? And then we can, oh, I think you're on mute there, Laura.
Sorry. Yeah, I have one here. I don't think we answered this, but a question if this is paid on the job training. Marjan.
I'm not sure what that question means.
Are they being paid while they're in training?
So they receive stipends. It's not an hourly rate. And so that stipend is to assist with transportation, food, gas, things of that sort while they're in the training. So there is not an hourly rate that we're paying, but we do find ways to support and offer, like I mentioned before, the supportive services to help alleviate some of those issues or things that might come up that might prevent them from attending the course and completing it.
Yeah, and there's questions in here like when is the next academy going to happen? And I think that Harriet's going to put up a slide for us with information for everybody to take a screenshot on those kind of details too.
Yes.
I've got a couple of questions on what kind of jobs are available, and that was actually our next question to you, Marjani. What kind of jobs can people get after completing the academy? What kind of opportunities are there for them?
So after completing the academy, of course, it depends on if you have the experience as an equipment operator already. Sometimes what this does is give you a leg up with your competition because you've already had the skills taught to you. You know, in our academy, you get level 1 certification for equipment operator, which is entry level. You know, it teaches you the basic needs to operate a heavy equipment. But we don't just get that certification. They get their forklift certification. They get their OSHA, Flagger, several certifications that they receive throughout this program, which prepares them for any entry-level construction trades job. So depending on your experience, you might start off as an equipment operator, or like several other people who've gone through the program who have been actually hired by Caltrans, they've come in as maintenance workers, and then they work their way up to equipment operator. And what we found is, you know, each employer is different in what they require for training and certifications and things of that sort. But our participants in our program, as Raphael mentioned, it was easy. He was in the top 10 out of those 400 candidates that took that test. So they're they're equipped to pass those tests. And other people have mentioned to me who've gone through our programs like, hey, my employer, you know, was teaching me a training and I already had it. You know, I had it in the Equipment Operator Academy and I had to show them my certificates because we go beyond just the certification of heavy equipment. Again, you know, blueprint reading, construction math. We go through wellness, employee, you know, wellness, because you have to have mental health as well. It's not just about learning how to do the job, career preparation, load securement, all kinds of things that go into this program that goes beyond learning how to operate heavy equipment.
Fantastic. Yeah, so much more than just, you know, not just, because obviously it looks very technical, but yes, kind of you become a well-rounded, employable individual.
Yes.
As you mentioned, Raphael was extremely competitive when going for that role, so it sets you up for great success. That's incredible.
If I might add, this program is not available to Caltrans employees. I do get that question a lot. Caltrans will have to do its own separate program. We do have funding for that, but this is for our community, people who do not work for Caltrans, and its goal is to fill the vacancies and, you know, enhance the workforce across construction trades and transportation. So it doesn't matter if they work for Caltrans or a private contractor. We're here to help everyone. You know, we want to give the people who go through our program the skills that they need to be able to land those jobs and then upskill themselves and grow from there. And one of the bonuses that we have is if you've come through our program and you don't have your Class A license, we can pay for that. So Shannon and Raphael and any other of the 40 participants can call us and say, you know, I want to get my Class A license now. As long as they're not employed by Caltrans, because we can use this funding to pay for Caltrans employees, we can help them get their Class A, which is usually what's required in an equipment operator classification. And most employers will help you get that too.
Yeah.
We even talk to their employer and, say, hey, if you're wanting to promote this individual or hire this individual, we'll train them for you. Because that alleviates the training cost on small businesses that are out there that are looking to build their business capacity. If we can help out in some kind of way by training their staff using this funding, then why not?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with the short amount of time we have left, Laura, do you want to, should we give Shannon a chance to answer her last question? And then we can, we've got a little video to close us out with some highlights from the
Sure.
program. But you want to
Yeah,
do that?
Shannon, so yeah, one of the things we were wanting to know, like, what is your favorite heavy equipment to operate? What was your highlight of the program?
My favorite heavy equipment to operate would have to be the excavator. It was so delicate, but it was so strong, and it could get so much done. So I'm going to have to go with that. And you said my favorite or my highlight of the program, besides the ceremony, because it was like official when we received all of our certifications with everything. It would have to be the relationships that were built with my class, with my instructors, also with the people that I met just through Caltrans alone at Highlands Community. That would be the most valuable, because your network is your network.
Absolutely. Yeah, that was a good way to summarize it. Yeah.
Yeah, who've been, just giving me wisdom and, pointers just to get to the next level. So that's definitely a highlight for me.
Love that. Thank you, Shannon.
Yes, thank you, Shannon. And I love that you shared about the graduation ceremony. So I know we have one last question for you, Marjani, telling us about details of the upcoming session. So maybe I'll play the video without the audio so we can see the visuals from that, and you can be sharing about that as we share that. How does that sound?
Sure. Sounds good to me.
Okay. So yeah, tell us about the upcoming sessions that you have.
So with the success of the first two sessions that we had here in Sacramento, we've expanded the Heavy Equipment Operator Academy statewide, and we will be kicking it off in San Bernardino County in January of 2025. And then we will move throughout the state with our mobile training provider, who is Baker Technical Institute. They won the contract award, so they'll be providing the training again. So we lucked out on that and got our
This meeting is being recorded
as well. But yeah, just go ahead, Laura.
I was just going to mention, I did put in the chat emails to contact Marjani. I did put a link to connect with her on LinkedIn. If you follow us on Caltrans LinkedIn, you'll see a lot of these updates, and we share a lot of great projects that our teams are doing. And there's also a link in there for the next CT Talks episode as well.
And if I can add something, that QR code, you'll be notified for all of our programs, not just the equipment operator, because we're actually working on a welding program as we speak, and we're looking to launch that late 2025 as well. So we're continuing to build the program. We've identified what the needs were across the state based on the Caltrans projects, and looking to fill the workforce and train the workforce in those areas where it's needed.
That's just incredible, Marjani. Just broadening the scope there and providing so much opportunity. It's huge. The trades is such a powerful occupation to head down, and it's just wonderful that this is offered to the community. So kudos to you again. So much congratulations for Shannon and Raphael for completing this and being so successful, and for being here with us. Thank you so much. Shannon, we're so sorry about the technical issues, but it was so wonderful to hear your voice and hear your insights. We are so proud, as are there's so many comments coming in. Congratulations, huge kudos, so much coming in. So we'll be sure to share that with you all at the end as well. But Marjani, thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for
having me.
Enlightening us.
Thank you, Marjani and Shannon.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So
I
inspiring.
appreciate the opportunity. It's a great job.
Yeah.
I might add, it's the most rewarding position I've ever had, and I've been working a long time, but it's the most rewarding position I've ever had, to be able to use my personal passion for helping others and using the resources that we have here to, help other people. So
Well, you're certainly excelling at it. So well done to you. Well done to your whole team. It's
Yes.
you know,
Couldn't do it
Raphael and
without 'em.
Shannon are proof of that success, right? So
Yes.
yeah, you're really doing such great things for the community. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Just to close out this episode, we want to thank all of our attendees today. Thank you to you. Thank you for your interest. If you are a Caltrans individual, as Marjani said, we need Caltrans to be educated on programs like this so that we can be advocates for our community as well. So if you know of someone that would be of interest, that this program would be of interest to, please send them the details, send them the information, send them Marjani's way. So that they can hopefully apply for some of these upcoming sessions. It sounds like it's a wonderful, wonderful opportunity. So thank you for your interest in attending. Thank you those that have come back time after time after time. We've seen some familiar faces in there, some familiar names. So we appreciate the support in continuing to bring you CT Talks. If you do have any suggestions for future topics, please email us. There will be a short feedback survey after this webinar concludes, and we would really appreciate your thoughts there. Any positive kudos, anything you want to share on to Marjani, Shannon, and Raphael, these comments do go through to them. So this is your opportunity. If you didn't set it in the comments already, this is your opportunity to share additional kudos there as well. And we also wanted to mention that next month, episode 14 is our Caltrans Blasters. So I don't know if you were aware, but the individuals that are there making sure our roadways are safe, if there's boulders that are looking like they're going to fall, or there's something that falls into the roadway, we have, it's an actual position as our Caltrans Blasters, and we've got some phenomenal panelists coming your way next month to talk about the safety impact, to talk about what they do. We've got some phenomenal footage coming your way with lots of fire in the hole and explosion, so it's going to be an explosive episode, let's just put it that way. But thank you everyone. Thank you Laura, thank you Marjani, Shannon, Raphael. This has been wonderful. Thank you ever so much.
Have a great one. Take care.
Thank you.
You.